Hey guys, this is Amal from TechLeatherCraft 209. I wanted a quick video review of a project I'm working on and also an EDC review. If you guys have followed my channel, you know that I make this smartphone case. This is for my Note 4, and I do this kind of EDC wet mold on the back so you can carry a few EDC tools, everyday carry in case anyone's wondering. And so I have the Swiss Army knife here and I have my micro screwdriver here. And I have been getting a couple orders for these for people, and one of them is for an iPhone 6 case, and the customer actually sent me, because it is wet molded, and so you do need to have the kind of the shape of the tool that you're working on right here. And so he actually sent me brand new from Amazon the tools that he wants wet molded. So this is a CRKT Peck, and this is the True Utility Tele knife. And I do have a couple of my EDC items that I have, just for comparison's sake, in case anyone is wondering. So let me get into unboxing CRKT. I'll get to the pen in a bit. So there is the pack. That is one small knife. Let's see what's in the box. So it's like we have a mini catalog with some of their other products, and kind of a description and kind of some directions on how the knife could be used and how not to use the knife. It does have the caution. This is a light duty personal knife. So let's get to the knife. It is pretty lightweight, really small, not very thick. And so just for comparison's sake, this is the SOG Blink, which is probably the smallest knife I have. I mean, other than the Swiss Army. As far as locking knives go, finding a small knife is actually really hard. Spyderco makes some really nice small knives like the Ladybug, and they have a couple insects names to them. The only issue with those, of course, is that for the moment, at least last I checked, they're slip lock, so they lock like a Swiss Army knife, which is not really a lock, right? They kind of lock into place, but not with a liner lock or any kind of major locking mechanism. So let's get into this. There's a thumb stud here, and looks like either a Torx or a hex nut screws that are holding it. There's a lanyard holder right there, and let's get opening. Now, I guess you could do this one-handed for something so small. I don't know how much I would trust that necessarily, but yeah, it is possible to do a one-hand opening. Okay, so CRKT is the marking right there, and on the other side of the blade, for anyone who's wondering. And it does have a liner lock, so the frame that makes up the knife actually comes up right there and locks into place. And there is a little bump right there, and after viewing and researching a little bit, the bump is actually used for retention when it's closed. So when you close this up, and you can kind of see when I bring it around here, you'll see there's a little dimple right there. And basically, when this is in locked position, that bump basically comes in, and it sits into that little hole. So yeah, a nice clip right here. It could be used as a pocket clip. They do advertise it as a money clip, so just for reference, grabbed a bunch of ones. Yeah, so you could just, use it like that. This is my the SOG, and so just for comparison's sake, we'll do a. So you can see the clip on the Peck is longer. It does sit out higher. So if you're someone who is carrying this in your pocket, just on a belt, something to be aware of is there's a large portion of the blade or the knife still showing, whereas one of my main features of the SOG is that it does sit a little bit lower if you're pocket carrying the knife. Alright, and then let me just do a really quick measurement in case anyone's wondering. So in closed position, the CRKT Peck is about 2 and 2.5, a little bit over 2.5. And in open position, The overall length of it is 4 1/4. The blade from that stop right there, the blade is 1 3/4, so 1 3/4, and the cutting area of the blade, in case anyone was wondering, is about 1 1/2. Alright guys, so that has been my kind of a review and comparison of the CRKT. For those of you guys who are wondering, this is the Blink by SOG. It is spring assisted, and it does have a lock back right here, so you press this down and it unlocks it. This is probably the smallest knife I have that's locking. It is really cool, and it's super fast. I actually like it a lot, and I use it also as a money clip every once in a while. This is the Gerber utility. I think it goes by a couple names, but it's the EAB. These two are a lot easier to one-handed open than this. With this, I'm a little bit worried that it's gonna flip out of my hand. In fact, so just out of comparison. Yeah. So anyway, the Gerber utility knife, and of course, since I do leather work, I do a lot of shows. This is nice to have with me in case I need to cut something, and a leather will dull blades really fast when you're cutting it. So I really like the feature of having this kind of replaceable blade. You can see it's been used up, it's been scratched up, it's been in my pocket a lot. It has a replaceable blade, so that comes really handy, and it's small enough to store in a toolbox or in your pocket too. I will post links to all of these. They do also make, just for reference, the CRKT Peck comes in this kind of satin finish, but they also make a black version of it, so with a black oxide coating, which like I said, I'll link to. So as far as wet molding goes, I will probably be molding it into the case, and of course one option is to actually mold it with the clip out. It does have this raise that I mentioned earlier, so that might not be ideal. It may be better to in fact just mold it with kind of deep into the pocket. Alright guys, for the second part of the video, I wanted to unbox this True Utility Telepen knife and compare it to my Fisher the X750, if I remember correctly. And it is of course a larger pen. In fact, I think it is even slightly larger than the Fisher bullet pen, the kind of traditional pens that you see. But it is what I have. It's what I EDC in my wallet. So really quick, there's some tape right here that I already cut, and the packaging of this is really cool. It looks like a waterproof container. I don't know if it is. It does have this. Well, I'll pull the stuff out in a second, but it does have this black O-ring gasket-looking thing. So I mean, it's potential that you could use it for something like that. I mean, if not, you can always store a couple other things in there. But if it was waterproof, it'd be really nice to, if you're to store like a fire starting kit, some tinder or a fire steel, a couple other things in here that you can, seal up and that you don't want to get wet. Even a first aid kit with some band-aids and a couple other things that you don't want getting wet in a rainy situation, or if you're hiking or something and you fall in the river. And it feels pretty solid. But once again, I wouldn't trust anything like electronic with it. But yeah, it does have that little gasket O-ring thing. So that is really nice. And if it's not water resistant, you can still, obviously put other things in there, like other EDC items or even fishing lures or whatever you want. Alright, so this is the keyring, and it comes with 3 refills right there. And in the inside they have material on the other items they sell. True Utility actually sells a lot of EDC tools, so you can go check out their website, and it has instructions on how to refill the pen. That's all that's included in there. The refills are pretty self-explanatory. They are small. I kind of wish they had added a little bit more ink just by looking at it. But anyway, so let's go over this. Now I've seen this multiple times. I just have not had a chance to play with one. So it does have kind of a laser etched True Utility logo branding right there. If I can get the camera to focus. and the keychain in the post right here. So my understanding is this pulls straight out, which is nice. You don't have to unscrew it. It pulls straight out, and that is tight. Okay, so there's some grooves right there on the tip. I'm going to guess that is what helps catch on the inside, and also probably just helps with a grip when you are switching out the ink refill. So that is a telescoping functionality right there. And in fact, I think the reason the grip is so tight is because it naturally extends the pen when you are pulling. Let me look down in here really quick. So there is no O-ring, but there are little metal clasp brackets that actually, when you slide this in, lock it into place. So it's really hard to describe, but there's metal bracketing. So it's a pretty secure hold. My only concern would be, I guess, on a keyring is it could potentially, come down a little bit. So on the smartphone case, let me remove my little micro screwdriver here. On the smartphone case, it will probably have its own little section right next to the Peck, and this panel will in fact be extended out further, probably along to the edge. So it'll be next to the Peck or the Swiss Army knife. I'm gonna kind of play with the layout on that when I'm making it, but it will be wet molded into the back case. And the loop, I don't know if you would need that or not. It would obviously make it easier to grab and pull the pen out. You can see it wants to extend a little bit while you're doing that. So the loop could come in handy in that kind of situation. And of course, it depends how deep you want the actual tool to go in. So yeah, really nice functionality. Let me do a test really quick. Let me grab a sheet of paper. So I have not actually used it, I just unboxed it right now. So it did take a little bit to get the ink to flow. Alright, actually feels pretty nice. It's similar to writing like a regular ballpoint pen. And just in comparison, this is my kind of EDC pen. In fact, I actually have two, which are EDC. But this one's with me in my wallet. I actually have kind of a large wallet. But this is the Fisher X750 pen, and it just really, they make this in a couple different finishes. It just has kind of a premium look to it, and this is kind of rubber grippy texture thing, so it really feels nice. And then the cap posts on the back, so it feels almost more like a full-size pen when you are writing. So from the post right here to the end, we're looking at about it's a little shy of 2.5, so 2 3/8 probably, and with it fully extended. It goes about to a little bit over 4.5. The Fisher Space Pen, in case anyone was wondering, is in closed position 4. So basically, when you compare the two, you can see in a fully open position the true utility. Oops, I'm sorry, not on camera. You can see in fully open position, the true utility is about the same length as the Fisher Space Pen in closed position. So, there they are, both in open position, and just next to the ruler right there. In open position, the Fisher Space Pen is almost about 6 inches. It's about 5 3/4. Oh, I'm sorry, it's about 5.5. Alright guys, so that has been my kind of a review and also kind of explanation of how I'm going to be using these EDC items. Really cool tools. The machining on this looks really nice. It's kind of like a brushed stainless steel satin finish. That has been my review of the tree utility pen, and the CRKT Peck compared with my SOG Blink and the Gerber utility knife. I will post links to all of these, and I will also wanted to thank Rick for giving me permission to review these two items that he sent me, and also for custom ordering the wet molded custom made case for his iPhone 6. Take care.